Granted, the recession looks bound to stay put far longer than we thought, but buck up. This year marks a paragon time to get a hold of your finances and produce a family budget that gives you financial peace and a clear list of spending and saving goals for the days ahead. Whether you're looking to pay down charge cards, fund a vacation, or merely get your financial house in order, we're here to assist. These tips come from experts from the money world, a financial consultant, a wealth planner, a VP at a credit debt counseling nonprofit, and a city treasurer whose office leads periodic family budget seminars. Welcome to Budgeting Strategies for Busy Families, Financial Control with Less Effort and More Results. Chapter 1. Understand your state of affairs. Scrutinize your financial wellness. Have a good look. What major fiscal challenges do you face? State your financial positives in terms of revenue, debt management, and savings. How do you think you arrived at this point, and what would you like to see altered? How well organized are you for financial emergency? Write it out now. The amount we have to put in an emergency fund is... How is the subject of money addressed in your family, emotionally or rationally? Who makes the fiscal decisions? How come? How much collaboration is there? Why it counts? Clarity and commitment. Authorities agree that before crunching the numbers, families need to scrutinize their financial wellness, and the best chance of success comes from having both mates on board. Here we will explain to you the basic principle of personal financial ratio and its analyses. This will help you keep a tab on your personal finances. Now, what are personal finance ratios, you'd ask? As the name hints, these ratios deal with your personal riches, assets, or cash in hand. All the more, they're exceedingly simple to understand. Just plain discipline of sustaining a budget and statement of assets, what you earn or have, and liabilities, what you spend or what you owe to other people, will help you check your financial wellness. Here is an easy guide which will help you to comprehend these ratios in detail. Let us have a look as to how these ratios may help. Basic solvency ratio. This ratio signals your power to meet monthly expenses in case of any emergency or calamity. It's calculated by dividing the near-term cash you have with your monthly expenses. Basic solvency ratio equals cash over monthly expenses. This ratio isn't mentioned in percentage. You are able to also call it an emergency or contingency preparation ratio. This ratio helps you prepare for unexpected troubles. An illustration: a 30-year-old businessman whose wife had an emergency gallbladder surgery last year. In spite of the fact that they had enough insurance to take care of exactly such an event, due to a few administrative problems, on the day of discharge, he was informed that he would have to pay in cash as the bill couldn't be settled. He had a hard time arranging the funds on an emergency fundament. He was fortunate to have good acquaintances and relatives who lent him the money, but not everyone have such great admirers or relatives to bail them out at such short notice. I'm sure no one wants to be in the same shoes. Therefore, we have to be organized for such a situation. How? By sustaining an emergency fund. Let's examine how much money is adequate. Here is where basic solvency ratio comes in handy. The numerator of the basic solvency ratio formula, cash or near cash, would commonly comprise of the following things: savings account, bank fixed deposits, liquid funds, and cash on hand. The above elements are liquid assets which come in handy at the first possible hint of financial problems. Liquid funds may be delivered immediately. Same goes for fixed deposits, as they may be broken and liquidated at once in case of an emergency. Monthly expenses. Only the mandatory fixed and varying expenses are taken here for ease. Any amusement outlay shouldn't be taken, as these expenses can be quashed. Mandatory fixed expenses include the income you pay for loans, insurance premiums, and rent. Mandatory varying expenses, on the other hand, comprise of food, transit, clothing, personal care, medical care, utilities, education expenses, and assorted compulsory expenses. The above expenses can be varying depending upon individuals. The total of the above divided by 12, that is 12 months, helps you attain the monthly average, as your variable expenditure might change. Assuming that you've cash for $60,000 and median monthly expenses of $25,000, your basic solvency ratio would work out to 60,000 over 25,000, or 2.4. But is that great? Not quite. An ideal ratio should come to 3. What does the number 3 mean? It means that you must have money equal to or at least 3 months of your mandatory expenses in a contingent or emergency fund. How come just 3 months? This is because research shows that 3 months' time is enough to emerge from any type of financial pinch. As individuals near their retirement age, they should make certain that this fund is kept up to 6 months of their required expenses. The fund should be divided and kept in the form of cash, fixed deposit, or liquid funds. Chapter 2. Set financial priorities. It's so crucial to set your financial priorities in life, as this may help secure your financial future. Too much stress could come from mishandled funds. Some individuals might make mistakes in setting their financial priorities, like saving more for their children's college education and a lesser degree for their own retirement. Set goals. You should understand how to prioritize your financial goals so that you'll stay pleased and financially stable as you get older in life. This doesn't mean that you don't consider the future of your kids, but you're just setting your financial priorities in order. Set an amount monthly for food, water, and shelter, as these are your primary needs. You need to think about buying various healthy foods and attempt to avoid unneeded snacks that are unhealthy. You likewise need to do your best in your present job, as it's your source of income to pay for your utility bills, home mortgage or rent, and groceries. This is where you start setting your priorities straight. A few individuals are so frugal on their grocery shopping they disregard their health needs just to buy expensive gadgets or airplane tickets for leisure time. Observe that attending to your own daily needs is your duty and priority to prevent evading the rent or house mortgage, utilities, and other crucial matters for well-being, particularly if you have a family. Occasionally, this could be the cause of a disagreement between man and wife, for they've different views when it comes to income management. The other mate wants to spend most of the money and isn't afraid of financial debt, while the other one prefers to save something for the rainy days or an emergency. Be a good role model to your youngsters, as they think highly of you as a parent. Pay your charge card debt if you have any. Paying off the charge card with the highest rate of interest, then followed by the ones with lower rates of interest, is the best thing you can do in order to eradicate your entire charge card debt. Purchase things or goods with cash as much as possible and contain your spending habits. Prevent overusing your charge card so that you'll be able to continue to have access to your accounts if you truly need it. Some individuals who were working and never bothered to save for an emergency fund and overused their credit now have nothing. You don't want to be in a spot where you've no earnings and you can't even access your credit cards because your accounts are closed. Center on saving enough cash for your emergency fund, particularly when all of your credit card debt is paid off. This is really crucial in case of a job loss or other major unforeseen things that might happen to you or anybody in your family. Avoid the enticement of purchasing things that you are able to just live without, and center on building your emergency savings. Setting your financial priorities should be your principal ambition. Have a clear list of crucial things that will cover your monthly expenses and finances, and number each item from the highest to the lowest with regard to their importance and need. Set up your 401k or 403b contribution and retirement savings if you already have enough cash savings for your emergency fund. Try to save 15 to 20% of your salary for retirement. Try to save for your retirement before saving for your youngsters' college education. When your youngsters grow up, they can use student loans, get scholarships, or attend community college or state university where it's more affordable. As you consider their future, you likewise need to consider your golden years. Capitalize on free training opportunities. Attending free seminars and trainings to advance your knowledge is a very good investment for your future. Setting career goals in life is really crucial, as the job market is highly competitive. Revise or update your will to make certain that your wishes are secure and accomplished. You need to have estate planning, regardless how small your estate is. Some individuals will just assume that their assets and possessions will automatically pass to their family, but without a legal will, the state might step in and allocate your property or estate. Evaluate your insurance coverage. Check whether your car and homeowner policy are updated and their deductibles are fair. You might seek life insurance, particularly if you're the head of the family working full-time. You may likewise think about buying long-term care insurance to aid you in paying for nursing care or assisted living when you get old. Chapter 3, write it down. Perhaps you thought you knew how much you spent on mega lattes till you saw the numbers in front of you. For most individuals, there is $65 to $85 a month in savings or more than $750 a year. Leave out Starbucks and eating out every day. Stick to it. In today's domain, there are very few individuals who take the time to produce a personal budget. Some individuals don't see the value in doing so. Others merely have no desire to confine their spending habits. With this in mind, it should surprise no one that the number of personal bankruptcies has achieved an all-time high. Individuals have achieved a point in our society where they purchase on impulse with no thoughts to the outcomes. In order to reverse this trend, individuals need to become more responsible with their forms of spending. Among the best tools to help a person achieve this conduct is a personal budget. A personal budget is a financial plan which sets bounds on the sum of money that will be spent on each category of expenses in a given month. A beneficial budget will take into consideration such elements as the amount of income being obtained, owed debt to be retired, retirement savings, and an emergency fund. A lot of individuals have no idea precisely where or how they spend a good portion of their income. How many times have you taken money from the ATM only to realize a few days later that it's gone? Many times it's hard to remember how precisely you spent the money, and frequently this money is wasted on frivolous buys. A budget will help you avoid this by making an individual accountable for the income they spend. If an individual only has $50 left for monthly food expenses, then they might decide to give up purchasing that fancy $3 designer cup of coffee. A different benefit is that a budget depicts an accurate idea of how much a person can actually afford to pay for assorted consumer items. Whether it's a home, a car, or a new TV set, an individual will be able to ascertain whether or not a particular purchase will fit within their monetary constraints. This acts as a precaution against getting in over your head financially. It's crucial to realize that merely creating a budget isn't enough. This in and of itself will do an individual absolutely no good if he doesn't discipline himself to stick to it. Occasionally, this will be very hard, especially if an individual has founded the habit of freely spending without an afterthought. However, the long-run advantages of financial freedom, debt-free living, and a comfortable retirement far outbalance any potential difficulties.